live broadcast of OLLILife. We're very excited. So we've got about one more minute and then we will get started. So thanks for being here. And we will ask everyone to be muted. I think that we've had you muted as you came in, but please stay muted so we don't end up with the dog barking or the phone ringing. And I'm telling myself that too, to make sure we don't have any extra noise. So thank you all for being here. And people are still coming in. This is great. We are glad you're here with us to celebrate the beginning of our second Zoom term. Mm-hmm. Who knew we'd ever do that? But here we are.
Are we on?
We are, yeah, let's wait a second longer. I think people are still coming in. So I already gave a little welcome, but this is Nancy Kennedy, Director of OLLI at Furman. We're glad you're here. As I just said, a little bit of housekeeping, please stay muted as you are watching this live broadcast of OLLILife. We are thrilled to have you here for this new thing that we're doing. And we are grateful to Sue Renault and her team for putting this together. People are still coming in. This is great. We have a lot of people here with us to celebrate the start of our second Zoom term. This time last year, whoever knew we'd do something like this, but we are glad you are all here. We will give it one more minute for anybody who comes right on time. I'm watching, there it is, it's 3:31. So Sue, I'm gonna hand it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our, and especially to newcomers, welcome to our back to school broadcast. 2020 was quite a year, right? But not so much because we got shut down and locked out, but because we stayed engaged, we kept learning, and we had fun. In November, we had our social committee turned a Zoom gathering into a fun for all trivia party. Contestants dug deep to answer several rounds, 10 questions in 10 minutes, like, what is a dactylogram? Anyone? What is a dactylogram? We left with big smiles, new friends, and a special attaboy to trivia host, Professor Smart E. Pants, also known as Vito Fiore. And we have asked Smart E. Pants to tell us a little more about what's coming up in 2021. Vito, are you there? No, that looks like Kathleen. We've got to get a Vito. Vito Fiore, are you in the group?
Yes, I'm here. Vito couldn't make it today, so Smarty Pants is taking his place. Oh. Thank you, Sue, for that great introduction. I appreciate that. And I agree. Everyone had a great time when we did trivia the last time. So, okay, for all of you guys that are frantically searching Google right now to determine what a dactylogram is, it's a fingerprint. So with that done, put your phones away and listen. This is important. So the social committee is continuing to find ways to use Zoom to keep connected while we stay safe at home. I've been asked to relay some of the things we're trying to do in the next semester. After the successful trivia event, I was granted tenure, so the committee has decided we're going to do another social Zoom trivia night. So pay attention and look for more information on that. There'll be some surprises this time around, so don't miss it. Another event that will be happening is Yappy Hour. And Yappy Hour is a social event that will include your BFF, your best furry friend. Now, that said, we are going to make exceptions for people who have birds and fish and reptiles, maybe an aardvark or an elephant. So don't be scared off by a BFF. If you've got any pet, you can join this Yappy Hour, and there'll be more information coming around on that. And lastly, don't forget the ongoing monthly birthday party celebration. At that time, we celebrate and recognize members who are having a birthday that month. Now, don't worry, because we don't reveal ages. We just celebrate that you had a birthday that month. Now, I know we're all 40, And some of us may still be 25, but hey, what the heck, you know? So don't worry if you don't have a birthday that month. If you're celebrating an unbirthday, you're still welcome to come and celebrate your unbirthday with birthdays. This January 15th at 11:30 will be the celebration day for birthdays. So again, try to make that event as well. And there'll be more information in the Friday OLLI notes. The social committee wants to remind you that everything we're going to do will be communicated through the Friday OLLI notes. So be religious about reading those notes. You'll have information on date and time. You'll have links to the Zoom meetings and everything you need to participate in these social events. Also, if you have any idea for a social event, please contact either Naomi Downing, who's the chair of the social committee, or any member of the social committee, and we'll look at the idea and see what we can work with. Sue, if you would indulge me for one more minute for a little trivia.
Okay.
Typically, January brings new laws into existence. However, that doesn't mean we should forget about the old laws that are already on the books. So think about these when you're out driving around. In South Carolina, there's a law in the book that says it is illegal to store trash in your vehicle. If you're going to go into North Carolina, don't drive through cemeteries for fun. It's against the law. In Tennessee, it's against the law to place tax on the highway. Now, why would you want to do that while you're driving 60 miles an hour? I don't know, but it's against the law. And for us who go to Florida periodically, don't park in the middle of the intersection. They will ticket you. It is a violation of their law to park in the middle of the intersection. So remember those laws while you're learning the new laws that supposedly have just come back on the books. So with that, Sue, I turn it back to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. You've given us a lot to think about. Another group that gets an OLLILife live shout out is the OLLI Photographers. They continue to grow their skills through online conversations, contests, and creativity. We have invited 6 OLLI Shutterbugs to tell us about the photos they took for one of their many challenges in 2020, and this one was called the Bottle Challenge. Bruce Schlein took our first photo, and it's called Boodle's Gin. And I love the smoky drama in this photo. And I think Bruce is here. Bruce, tell us a little bit about this photo.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite photographs. And the reasons I like it are that I like the shape of the bottle and the bright flower and bottle against a darker but still complex background, and Boodle's Gin makes the perfect martini.
Thank you very much, Bruce. It really is beautiful.
Thank you.
Next on the screen is a photo called Cluck Cluck Bottle by Bob Berman, and it catches our attention because of its distinctive shape. Bob, tell us about this. Is Bob here? Okay, we're missing Bob. Let's go. Any Bob? Nope. Let's go down to the grappa photo by Alan Weinberg. Grappa, and how about Alan Weinberg? Are you in the audience?
I'm here.
Okay, hi, Alan. Tell us a little bit about your grappa bottle.
Well, this shot was made in a very darkened room. It's a 30-second exposure to emphasize the shape and contours with a minimum amount of glare. I have a collection of grappa, and they elicit fond memories of my travels to northern Italy. Salute.
Salute. Thank you, Alan. And the next photo is called Remy Martin Louis XIII, and it's by Gordon Dome, and he couldn't be with us today. But this bottle was given to Gordon for achieving its goal, the last shot poured. He uses it now to keep Listerine in. Gordon says he enjoys providing standalone shots with interesting framing designs. And I love the red background on this photo. David Schultzman took the next photo called Angel in the Garden. And here's David to tell you a little bit about that. Isn't that pretty? Have we found David? We're missing our David.
Hello,
We've
I'm
found
here.
you.
I'm
Okay.
here.
Tell us about your bottle, your angel wings.
Yeah, hi, everybody. I wanted to illustrate hope with this picture, so I found a bottle with angel wings, took that, placed it within a box of flowers, and then together I thought, hope in 2020 was a rare commodity for many of us. So that's what the illustration from that picture is supposed to be.
Thank you, David. It's beautiful. And last, we have a very playful shot by Hugh Curitan. Hugh, what made you like this shot? I know Hugh's here. Hugh, wave your hand.
He
I
needs to
like the
unmute.
whimsy of the bottle tree.
Yeah,
And I like the way the light was falling on it.
thank you. Thank you, Hugh. I liked the whimsy as well. I want to give a shout out to all the photographers for bringing their bottle challenge photos. And let's give these OLLI photographers a big OLLI hand. They did a nice job.
Excuse me, do you have time to just show them all again one time, no commentary, just so we can see them?
Jessica, can we do that?
We can do that.
Okay, go ahead and start back at Boodle's Gin.
The best gin.
Next is the Cluck Cluck bottle. Next is the long necked bottle. Next is the Remy Martin Louis XIII. And then we go to David's Angel. Now we're at the bottle tree. They're really beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. The next person wants to tell you a little bit about a special SIG. And I'm going to move the camera now to Ann Doyle to tell us about a SIG that she's interested in this week.
You know those magazines that publish cartoons without captions and you're supposed to make up your own? There's an Improv Sig, which is a special interest group in OLLI that uses this idea for one of its activities called creating captions. It starts with the leader sending several photos at once to everyone in the group. They each write their own caption idea for each photo. After everyone has submitted their caption to the leader, she creates a document that includes all the captions under each photo and sends it back to the group. What a great way to create instant laughter. We need that these days. Another of their activities is what they call round robin stories. Several photos are sent to a member. This first person creates a story to illustrate one photo and then returns it to the leader. Then, after a bit of editing for spelling, she sends it to the next person who chooses another photo, continuing the storyline, possibly with a twist, and so on, until the last person creates a conclusion. All this is via email, so everyone laughing is socially distanced and no masks. Look for information about the Improv Sig in your OLLI course catalog.
Thank you, Anne. During 2020, OLLI classmates found creative ways to serve their communities. Marie Eldridge has found one of these special people, and I'd like her to tell us about her today. Marie.
Marie, you're muted.
Mute.
Still is.
Turn it. Can't hear you.
There you go. You're all set, Marie. Start over.
Sorry about that. So I would like to tell you about OLLI member Cheryl Cotner, who loves to cook. She attended culinary school right after college. And during the pandemic, she wanted to do something useful, help others. So that's when Soup on Friday was born. Think tomato bisque, ham and bean, chicken tortilla, vegetable beef, butternut squash. Once a month, Cheryl emails her neighbors, 189 households, about the latest soup she plans to cook. Neighbors can order a quart of delicious homemade soup for $10. As a bonus, Cheryl's neighbor Margie, who loves to bake, contributes freshly made rolls. When the soup is ready, Cheryl fills the containers and adds her homemade labels. With help from socially distanced, masked friends and family, she distributes the soup out of her garage. Cheryl donates the proceeds after expenses to local food pantries. In May, Cheryl sold 38 quarts of her homemade soup. In November, the requests totaled 70. To date, Soup on Friday has donated $3,725. Cheryl praises her neighbors for their support, but she says it also benefits her. I can be creative and do what I love, and it gives me purpose, she said. Well, that's my soup. My scoop for today. Great to see you. See you next time.
Thank you, Marie. And thanks, Marie. And thanks to Cheryl for creating Soup on Fridays. Before we continue with our OLLI Live kudos, I want to spend a moment with OLLI Director Nancy Kennedy. Nancy, several of our classmates responded to an OLLI survey during the fall. What did you learn about us?
Thanks, Sue, for asking. Several is an understatement. 50% of our current members answered the survey, which is a tremendous response rate, higher than you usually hope for in something like that. So we are thrilled that so many answered the survey, and I thank all of you for taking the time to do that. Of those who answered the survey, we learned some demographics of our group. The greatest concentration of our members who answered the survey are ages 70 to 74. So of course we have some younger and some older, but that was the largest group that answered. We were about 62% female and 37% male of those who answered the survey. What was very interesting and important for us to know now is that 84% found their online learning experience positive enough that they think we should continue it in some way. And we do plan to do that. We have a long-range planning committee that is working this year to think about what it looks like when we come back to OLLI, when we come back to the Herring Center in person. And there will always be a Zoom presence as part of our offerings, even when we can have in-person classes. We have the technology in our building to offer hybrid classes, meaning we could have people sitting in person in the class and people Zooming in. We may offer some classes just by Zoom, and we'll have some classes that are just in person. We'll have a mixture of everything. But that gave us some great information as we plan for our return. The other surveys we've been a part of have been OSHA benchmarking surveys. The OSHA National Resource Center, since the beginning of the pandemic, has done periodic surveys of the OSHA directors to find out sort of what's going on in the individual OLLIs. And that's been very helpful to me and to our staff as we know how what we're doing compares to what other OLLIs are doing. And one key thing that I learned this week is that for the spring semesters, and for us, that's winter and spring. 82% of OLLIs are providing courses remotely only. Of that remaining 18%, they are offering a mixture of remote and in-person classes. And those in-person classes that they are offering are very much almost entirely weighted towards things that are happening outside. So that just helps me know that what we're doing is similar to what the other programs are doing. And we are glad that so many of you want to Zoom with us. So we are looking forward to the start of our term on Monday. And just because we don't have an official survey going on right now doesn't mean that I don't want to hear your opinion. So if you have a question or a suggestion, please give me a call or send me an email, and I would love to hear it. Thanks so much. Back to you, Sue.
Thanks very much, Nancy. Interesting statistics. One thing that our OLLILife has that most OLLI newsletters do not is our own wine blog. Cindy and Bernie Showman always have great tips for understanding the world of wine. Today, they're going to tell you about American viticultural areas, AVAs. So Cindy and Bernie, take it away.
Thanks, Sue. AVAs are federally designated regions with unique climate and geographic conditions that are suitable for growing wine grapes. Famous AVA is Napa Valley, California. The only geographic designation that can be placed on a bottle of American wine is either the state name or the name of the designated AVA. A large volume of documentation and maps have to be submitted to the U.S. Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau to get approval for an AVA.
There are no AVAs in South Carolina, but there are 6 in North Carolina. The largest is Yadkin Valley AVA, covering parts of 7 counties west of Winston-Salem. There are more than 40 wineries or vineyards with tasting rooms in this region.
The newest North Carolina AVA is the crest of the Blue Ridge, Henderson County. This is a very prestigious honor for this area. There are 2 new vineyards that opened in this AVA in the past year. One is Mark Tree Vineyard, and the other is Stone Ash Vineyard. And they joined the 3 previously existing vineyards of St. Paul Mountain Vineyards, Burnt Shirt Vineyards, and Point Lookout Vineyards. All of these offer enjoyable wine in picturesque settings.
We have recently consumed 2 bottles of wine from the crest of the Blue Ridge AVA. The first was Chestnut Gap Red Blend from St. Paul's Mountain Vineyard near Hendersonville. This red blend wine is primarily Cabernet Sauvignon grapes from the 2017 vintage. And then the second is Altitude 3400 red wine from Burnt Shirt Vineyards, also near Hendersonville. This is a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, and Chambourcin.
The grapes for both of these wines are grown at high elevations. And the wines are very similar in color, taste, and body. But we actually had a preference for the Burnt Shirt Elevation 3400.
Cheers.
Cheers to you. Thank you, Bernie. Thank you, Cindy. That's interesting. I think a lot of us are going to make some day trips up to North Carolina. Next up, if you see a big white bag, you know that Zelda is in the building. What's she got up her sleeves or in her bag this week? Check it out. Zelda?
Zoomies! It's me again, Zelda Zoom, and I've got something very fun in the ragged egg today. It's face masks. Don't you be grumpy about face masks. They can be fun. They can say a lot about the person wearing them if they're homemade. And believe me, they're much nicer than these boring things. They say more, and you can wash them and keep them if you make them out of cotton. For example, do you like to snack late at night? Then you could make a mask out of pretzels. More, if you are very fond of spicy food, try making a face mask featuring chili peppers. What about those of you who like to run on the local route? Well, if you use it, why don't wear a face mask with the swamp rabbit on it? If you are a retired hippie and you long for paisley, well, it's out there. And if you are laid back and you love Mother Nature and you love blue sky, then you could make one with blue and flowers. So, stay healthy, have fun, and when I see you again, we'll have something else to talk about. Toodaloo!
And toodaloo to you, Zelda. Thanks for the fashion show. Okay, here's the bad news. The bad news is COVID-19 stomped out an awful lot of our travel in 2020. The good news is that we live in an area rich with day trips. Kathleen Allen thinks that you should visit Flat Rock, North Carolina. Kathleen, tell us about that.
Introduction. This is Kathleen Allen, here today at beautiful Connemara, home to Carl and Lillian Sandberg. We're on location, and today I'd like to show you some of the wonderful sights in Flat Rock, North Carolina. The 245-acre home of the people's poet and his beautiful Lillian now belongs to the American people. I like to think of this national treasure as the Lillian Sandberg House, too. Lillian graduated Phi Beta Kappa in math from the University of Chicago in 1907, more educated than her soon-to-be famous husband. Her brother was a famous photographer, Edric Steichen. Lillian and Carl were hikers. 5 brisk miles was a short walk for them. These mountain streams and trails lured them out of the house often and into the nature they so treasured. It was Lillian who found and purchased the property. She organized the movement of their possessions, including freight train cars loaded with Carl's library and her goats. It took 17. Lillian's goats live on at Connemara. As Carl's fame grew as a writer, poet, lyricist, and biographer, Lillian's renown expanded from her love of the farm and its creatures. She developed a passion for genetics and was world famous for her knowledge of goats and her skill with breeding. As a matter of fact, when a group of Japanese agronomists visited Flat Rock, they were in awe of Lillian's scientific data collection system. When she finished the tour of Connemara and the goat barn, then they asked about her husband and what does he do? Access to house and barn tours is limited now by COVID restrictions, but visitors can still walk the grounds of Connemara and enjoy the charms of Flat Rock, particularly the Flat Rock Bakery with its artisanal breads and mouthwatering cookies. Hendersonville is just a short drive to the north, and I will mention as an aside that I have visited Mark Trail Winery 3 times as I've journeyed to the Carl Sandberg House to make this presentation. So be sure and check them out. This is Kathleen Allen saying, see you in Flat Rock.
Thanks,
We'll finish
Kathleen.
up our tour today here at Lillian's Goat Barn. This is where she would have ended her day as well, checking on her charges before she headed up to prepare dinner.
Thanks, Kathleen. Great trip to Flat Rock. Next, I've asked our OLLI reporter, Betty Jo, to tell us a little bit about our 2021 Read and Explore class. I hope if you're one of our OLLI newcomers that you'll join this activity. It's fun. Betty Jo?
Hi, I'm Betty Jo. If you like reading a good book like I do, and then digging deeper, you'll enjoy OLLI's Read and Explore program. Our book this year is The Bookwoman of Troublesome Creek by Kim Michelle Richardson. The book's available from Amazon for under $8. It's a riveting bestseller about Kentucky's brave pack horse librarians and blue people during the Great Depression. It's a page turner. Here's how it works. We all read the same book. Then we enjoy chat groups, lectures, and special Zoom visitors, including the author herself. It's a terrific way to chase away pandemic boredom and stay engaged with our OLLI community. I hope you'll join us to read and explore The Bookwoman of Troublesome Creek. Watch OLLI News for news and dates about the other activities. Finally, we'd like you all to meet OLLI President David Johnson to wrap up today's news.
Welcome from my Zoom studio to yours. I'd like to tell you a coronavirus joke right now, but I'd have to wait 10 to 14 days to see if you got it. Seriously, I hope you've enjoyed hearing about OLLI's vibrant people and programs. On behalf of the OLLI Council, I urge you to stay engaged with our classes, bonus events, and lunch and learns. We're OLLI, where active minds play.
Thanks, Dave. Great joke. And thanks for welcoming all of our newcomers to the OLLILife live broadcast. Until next time, I'm Sue Renault with our OLLILife live family, wishing you a great winter term. And if you have questions, leave us a chat comment. Thanks for everything. Thanks from all of us. Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Thanks, Jessica.